Hi, designers. I had a request to go over dimensioning circles. And the first thing that you'll want to make sure if you're doing homework for my class is that you are using the template file that I provided. I've renamed this one a CAD template, and I know it's my template because I have the tabs down here on the left side that say model, which is where we do our drawing, and B11 by 17, which is the title block that I've included for you. One thing to note that in this layout, you have a viewport. So I can delete that viewport, erase it, and make a new one at any point. I'll just type MV to make a viewport, and I can make a viewport. So I know some of you have been overlapping the viewports and then getting some duplicates. You have full control over that. So maybe in this case, I'll just delete the one and pop back over here to model. And I have a few places where I can grab dimensions. So I'm in AutoCAD 2024. Some of you might be in 2025. But on the Home tab in the ribbon, I have this annotation panel. And I have a pull down here where I can find radius and diameter that I can use for a circle. So it is important to know which I am looking for. So if I want the radius of this circle, I do have a little bit of control of where that's going, but that's based on a setting. So I'm able to do that. If I go to annotate, I have this whole dimension panel here, and it's going to be somewhat the same in terms of the dimensioning and where I find the information. I can expand. Oops, that's the style. But I always find it easier to use the tools here. So let's look at a diameter. This one, diameter of this one, and maybe a radius of this one. So I'm touching the outside of the circle, and at this point I don't have control over where it's going. And that again is based on the style. To see what the style is that you're using, expand that panel, and these are my styles. So right now my dimension style is set to something called annotative. If you have the interior design setting, you can choose that one. And let's try again with that radius. Now I'm getting a little bit different option here, and a different text, and a different size tick mark. That's all based on the styles. And we will learn how to set up the styles in chapter 11. But if you are curious, you can click there, see what style you're in, and go to modify. And you can see all of the different things that you're able to modify. Lastly, I'll mention the scale. So right now, these look like they're pretty small circles, and my scale is set to 1/4 inch equals a foot. So if I really was looking at a 2-foot circle at 1/4 inch, it's going to be pretty small. So I might want to view those larger. In the case of your lampshade, I think we're using 3 or 1.5, I can't recall. But if I go to 3, you'll see what happens to that text because the circles will be appearing much larger and you don't want the text out of proportion. That's the benefit of having styles set up with this little blue feature, which indicates that it's annotative and changes the scale of the text accordingly to match the scale of the drawing. So I just changed it to 1.5. I'll change it to 1. You can see the text starts to get bigger. So if that's the scale that I want to print, I'll come back over to my layout, activate model space, And then what I want to do here is set the scale to be the same and match model space. So 1 inch equals a foot. That gives me the circles to the scale that I'm looking for, and it resizes my text so that that text will print at probably 1/8 inch is what it's set up to print at. So that keeps our graphics looking nice and clean and intentional. So hopefully that helps. And let me know if there's any other questions or things that I can help with, or direct you to videos that already have some of the explanation. Thank you.